Hi, welcome back to another TerranScapes video. This video is part of, I guess, what's turning into an ongoing series of new releases. And in a previous video, way back, I showed you a preview of the ruins that I was developing. And what I'd like to do today is show you them finished and talk a little bit about some of the details that I've added. So here you can see the smaller of the two ruins I've completed at this point. I have some ideas for a couple down the road, but they probably will not appear for a little while. This is about 8 inches across by about 8, and features a relatively low wall, which was designed actually with a War Machine in mind, but I also wanted to make it something that would be functional in Warhammer Fantasy as well, with again with movement tray allowance. So before we come up close on this and show you a couple of the details, just to demonstrate. So again, thinking about this as a movement tray, actually, and in retrospect, this is, well, it depends on the unit size, I guess. This is a little small maybe, but what I've done is I've placed some pieces within it to provide some stability depending on where the movement tray ends up in the piece. So you could place it on top of the terrain in a variety of locations, and it's going to support it in a way that it's going to be relatively upright for the most part in almost all the locations. So that was something that I really wanted to incorporate. There are a few spots where it might be extreme. That would probably be about the most extreme angle. But that's not really that bad, and again, if you've magnetized your miniatures, that's not going to be a problem. So, you know, looking at, whoops, in frame, there we go. Looking at some of the work that Custom Terrain has been doing, I was really impressed with the diversity of foliage that he's been adding to his pieces, so kudos to him. And I realized I've been sitting on a lot of materials for quite some time, so I've decided with these pieces to really try to incorporate some more diversity and give it a little bit more pop. And I've done this piece in a sort of springish, early summer look, which was the theme I was going for on the table that this was originally built for. And so what I've done is I've added a lot of vine work. In the past, I haven't done as much, you know, density of vines, but, you know, I've been looking at them more and more, and what you really see is a large patch that's then, you know, growing and separating as it moves away from the center area where the growth originated. So I've done that. I wanted to have some of the tendrils coming over the edge of the wall, and I think it really adds quite a bit to it. And then I've also put in some clumps of flowers. These are from Silflor, and really like what they bring to the piece. Of course, not all themes are going to, you know, where, you know, certainly a more desolate piece, that's not going to work very well. But for this piece, I think it really adds a nice pop of color when you view it from a little bit of a distance. And then one of the other things I've done that's a little bit new is I decided to start putting in some tufts of grass in between the cracks of the pieces here of the stone flooring. And I just, as I started to add them, I just really liked the sort of aged effect that it gave that. So really pleased with that. I expect to see more of that in future pieces as well. But that gives you an idea of the smaller of the two ruins. And then here's a look at, whoops, I'm going to have to pan back on this, a little bit bigger. And here you can see the larger of the two ruins, and this is about 12 inches across by about 10 and a half, 11, something like that. Again, I tried to design it with the idea of being able to accept very large bases. I was requested to develop something like this by a customer who wanted to place basically one of the largest of the War Machine model bases inside of this. And so again, what I've done is try to place some support pieces that work with it thematically to give some support to really large bases. So, you know, when a base is put in here, it's going to stand, depending on the center of the gravity of the miniature, you know, with a relatively good level of stability. And then, of course, you know, that includes the walls. Depending on where the tray ends up, these will give it a little bit more stability as well. So large blocks of troops can move through these relatively easily. And again, it's finished in a very similar scheme to the one I just showed you. You know, flowers, tufts of grass in between the flooring, if you will. And, you know, a little bit of debris scattered around amongst some of the pillars and whatnot. You know, of course, this offers a pretty wide palette of ways that it could be finished, you know, and certainly could be done in, you know, with debris added to the tops of the walls if you wanted that as an effect. You know, we'll accept, you know, powders and what am I looking for? Not powders. Well, weathering pigments and even weathering pigment washes. I didn't do that on this piece. As you can see, it was a lot of material to add to it to finish it to this stage. And in fact, I kind of liked it a little bit more of a cleaner look. But of course, like I said, it could be finished in a variety of ways. So that gives you a look at the large ruin piece, which will be showing up on the website soon. And lastly, this is a shot, whoa, look at that auto darken. This is a shot of what the unfinished piece would look like that'll also be available in the store. And this, you know, gives you a sense of the kind of palette, if you will, that you could take in whatever direction you felt like you wanted to go in. So what I've done here is I've left the outside edge of it open, and I did not put any texture in there. So if you were just going to flock it solid, it'd be quick and easy. You wouldn't have to dry brush or paint it. But of course, if you really wanted to texture the outside, it'd be very quick to just add a quick layer of sand with a little PVA glue. So it gives you, and in fact, if you really wanted, by leaving this kind of thin and open, you could even do cuts to remove some of the basing material. If you didn't want to finish those areas, that could be trimmed and then beveled with a knife just to shrink up its footprint a little bit, if that was something that you desired, depending on your use. So a pretty versatile piece, I think. Going to work in a lot of gaming systems and a lot of styles of tables. So I've been really pleased with this as a piece. And this is, of course, cast in solid urethane plastic. So it's got a little heft to it and definitely a lot of durability. So that gives you an idea of what the ruins look like. There may be a chance that I might be incorporating one of these into another project with a desert theme to it. So that would give me a chance to show you how to finish it, an alternative color scheme, give you some ideas of what's possible with it. But of course, you know, if you're interested in this piece finished, there's a variety of ways I can finish it to match whatever theme that you're interested in. So if you have questions or comments, you know, please feel free to leave them down below, and you can keep an eye on the TerranScapes website for these to appear. They'll appear shortly, both in the new release section as well as on the structure page. So keep an eye on the channel. I have more videos to shoot. There's quite a few to put up before August 4th, which is when this store will be reopening, and it's my plan to have all of these pieces available and in the store listing for that date. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be back real soon with another video.